Welcome to Harry's Hook. I am a journalist, big fan of boxing. I've written published articles on it. I also train and spar. October 12th, the two undefeated superpowers of boxing's light heavyweight division collide in a showdown for undisputed supremacy. Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol, all the belts, undefeated records, clash of styles. Thank God the camera is up here because I am at full mast for this affair. In today's video, I'm going to preview the bout, talk about the boxers, advantages, disadvantages, some X factors that could determine the outcome, and then ultimately give my prediction. Artur Beterbiev holds the WBC, WBO, and IBF 175-pound straps. He's 39 years old and holds a chilling record of 20-0 with 20 knockouts. He stands about 5'11", carrying a 73-inch reach. Beterbiev is a calculating pressure fighter who often uses a ramrod jab and sneak attacks to close the distance and unleash his iron fists. Dmitry Bivol holds the WBA light heavyweight belt. He's 33 years old and has a record of 23-0 with 12 knockouts. He stands 6 feet tall and carries a 72-inch reach. Bivol is a modern paragon of the Soviet style of boxing, a master of distance and timing who uses advanced footwork, an active lead hand, and quick combos to control the range and pace of a fight. One of the facets of this contest that's just so damn intriguing is the clash of styles. If you want to simplify, you can say that it's the Matador Bivol versus the Bull Beterbiev. But of course, there's more nuance. Bivol is like the elusive Matador who is looking to control the engagement and slowly break down the more powerful beast. However, Bivol doesn't usually sit down on his punches, and in my book, he has underrated power. He's also not afraid to scrap if the moment calls for it. And yes, Beterbiev is a beast, like the bull, force of nature, 100% KO rate, traumatized sparring partners. But again, don't be fooled. He isn't just a spectacular puncher, he is a skilled and technical operator. He's a decorated amateur with a reported record of 295-5, beat Usyk in the amateurs. You don't get that from merely brawn. And one of the best tools Beterbiev utilizes is his jab. It's a battering ram, but it's also educated. He'll often use little feints, level changes, and lunges to help land it. Among all championship-level boxers, he connects with the 8th most jabs per round according to CompuBox. However, the number one spot in that category belongs to Bivol. He has one of the most celebrated jabs in the sport today. In fact, 2/3 of all the punches he fires are jabs. That's the highest ratio in all of championship-level boxing. By the way, if you want to dive further into the stats on Beterbiev versus Bivol, check out this video next. One of the aspects of Bivol's style that makes him so difficult to deal with is his elusiveness. Opponents, on average, only land 13% of their total punches on him. That's the lowest rate at the championship level. He uses his footwork and that pendulum bounce to slide in and out of range. He also does a good job at keeping his right hand up to protect against incoming blows. All the while, he disciplines his opponent with jabs and quick combos to control the bout. Bivol manages the distance. Beterbiev invades it. Artur's jab disrupts the opponent's rhythm, softens them up, and gets him in range. He'll also use lunging sneak attacks as well as counters, which off-balance his adversary. When he's on the inside, he'll often square himself and unleash a barrage of blows. Short, compact, heavy punches that break down the opponent. But with that pressure and aggression comes risk. Despite his solid boxing skills, Beterbiev has gotten caught and has been dropped. And even though Bivol only carries a 52% KO rate, he does have power. Enough to keep a very aggressive and durable Canelo Alvarez honest. That victory over Canelo was certainly Bivol's biggest. Best win for either fighter. Although I do believe that Beterbiev has a bit of a stronger resume overall. Now, a lot of boxing fans like to use Canelo versus Bivol as a proxy for the upcoming battle with Beterbiev. And look, I get the surface-level comparisons of Canelo and Beterbiev both being calculating pressure boxers. But as great as Canelo is, Beterbiev presents different challenges. For one thing, he's bigger and stronger than Canelo, has better footwork, far heavier hands, a more consistent jab, and look, Canelo has certain advantages over Beterbiev. For example, he's more slick, has quicker hands, a superior chin. But my point is they are different. The ways they pressure their opponents are different. They possess different attributes, different styles. Canelo was tailor-made for Bivol. Beterbiev, however, is not Canelo. But ultimately, it may not matter. Let's get to the X factors. Father Time, baby, no way around it. It's a key X factor for this bout, and really for every fight that Beterbiev has at this point. Bivol is 33 years old, still in his physical prime. Beterbiev, 39, staring 40 in the face. Now, to his great credit, the word is he's a clean athlete. He doesn't drink, smoke, do drugs, eats healthy, stays in top shape, and he's done a phenomenal job at maintaining elite-level physical performance. But when a fight is this close, at least on paper, even a slight dip in athletic ability from a bit more aging can make the difference between winning and losing. So has Father Time's payment finally come due for the nearly 40-year-old Artur Beterbiev? But what do they say? Power is the last thing to go. And Beterbiev's power, it always needs its own X factor. It's just that special. I mean, whether he's cracking you in the temple, the jaw, the solar plexus, the ribs, maybe the back of the head, whatever that man hits is liable to break. For both men, both chins, they're both on the X factors. Okay, Beterbiev, he's been dropped twice as a pro, 2014 and 2018, and anyone who thinks that Bivol is pillow-fisted is kidding themselves. Again, he doesn't tend to sit down on his punches, but if he does and catches Beterbiev clean as he's coming in, that could be a problem, especially since Bivol punches in bunches. Now, Dmitry has shown a pretty solid chin. I know, we saw him get wobbled badly by Joe Smith Jr. from an overhand right, but really not too much more beyond that. So Bivol has been durable. However, we're not talking about ordinary punching power here. Okay, anyone who steps foot in the ring with Beterbiev, their chin is in jeopardy. The knee. As you may know, the whole reason this fight is happening now, rather than back in June, is because Beterbiev tore his meniscus in training camp. He had it surgically repaired. We really don't know what level it's going to be at on fight night. Plus, Bivol is the type of fighter who will strain that knee just through his movement. Plus, the knee is an important part of the kinetic chain. So will Beterbiev's power be at 100% on fight night? And we have to ask, what about the lunges and sneak attacks? Those could be compromised if his knee isn't right. It's undoubtedly an X factor. Okay, let's make our way to a verdict. Beterbiev, Bivol, up, down, left, right. Let's make our way to a verdict. Let's make our way to prediction. Let's make our way to something. At the end of the day, while this is a pick'em fight, Bivol has everything he needs to win in terms of his style, jab, defense, physical attributes, temperament, right, to execute that disciplined game plan, Artur's age, and his questionable knee. Does that mean I'll pick Bivol, though? One of the things that makes this fight so enticing to me is that I can legitimately see any ending, right? There's the more conventional outcomes of a Beterbiev stoppage or a Bivol decision, right? That's obvious. But Beterbiev can also win on the cards. Not every decision has to be through outboxing an opponent all night, right? You can bruise and batter your way to a decision, a la Ryan Garcia over Devin Haney. That's on the board. But so is Bivol winning by stoppage, okay? I believe he has underrated power. Combine that with his quick hands, precision, Beterbiev's age, questionable knee. I'm not saying it's the most likely outcome, but I think it's also on the board. I have gone a bit back and forth on this fight. Okay, before the knee, I had Beterbiev. Then the injury made me reconsider. In some ways, my head does say Bivol. Okay, he's got everything that he needs to win, plus fewer variables to worry about. But my gut has a hard time picking against Beterbiev. With his pressure, skill, power, no one has ever been able to stink out Beterbiev. He always finds a way to close the gap and beat down his opponent. Bivol has never fought anyone like Beterbiev. I'm sorry, Canelo doesn't count. And while Bivol is highly skilled and athletic, that Soviet style of boxing is something that I'm sure Artur is familiar with, having grown up in that amateur system. When Bivol is at his best, he's a bit of a bully in there. Yes, he maintains distance, but he'll also press forward at times and fire sharp combos. It's push and pull. I think when Beterbiev begins landing his heavy jab, he's going to make Bivol a bit hesitant and defensive-minded. He is by nature a fairly cautious fighter. That's going to embolden Beterbiev. Can Bivol outbox him on the back foot? Maybe, but I think Beterbiev is a better boxer than a lot of people give him credit for, and he just knows how to cut off the ring and invade space. Aside from his jab, I believe that his lead right hand and counter right will be key in this fight. Bivol likes to hold his lead hand low and keeps his rear hand up, which takes away the left hook, but the lane for the right hand is open. Yes, Bivol is elusive and he's likely going to avoid many shots, but I think in order to keep Beterbiev off of him, he's going to have to sit down on his punches, and that brings a lot of risk. When I sit down and watch his fights, I'm always impressed by Dmitry Bivol. I'm amazed by Artur Beterbiev. I know his age and knee are legitimate question marks, and Bivol is a world-class boxer. But ultimately, I have to see Beterbiev lose in order to believe it. I have him winning via late stoppage. And that right there is Harry's hook. How do you see this fight playing out? Who do you have winning? Comment below.